okay. Moving forward with the night, Man LFO now take on. I'm just going to call it the OG Knights. They don't
Just call them Kelton's Knights.
No, they don't deserve Kelton's Knights. It was funny when Kelton wasn't a part of the team, Xenox. You know what I mean? But this matchup, I think that this is probably going to be the real start to the test for Kelton's Knights because they are the only other team that has remained untouched from last year. Bar Bouncing coming in. Sorry, let me preface that. Campo out, Bouncing in. Bouncing was always in the background.
So what you're saying is they have been touched.
They have been. I would say they've been more caressed into Bouncing coming back in.
The ball is back.
The ball is
in the court.
The ball's in their court.
It's back and it's bouncing, baby.
It's bouncing everywhere.
I expected a little bit more from them, just a smidge more from them yesterday. A bit disappointing, obviously, in their loss against Antic. And I think this is a team that has so much experience and quality of yesteryear. Yeah. Are we getting to a point now? It's 2024. And this was a retired, washed-up squad that, did it originate at the end of 22 or was it the beginning of 23? Either way, it's getting to a point now where they're going to get overtaken because of the reality being they don't scrim.
Yep.
And there's only so much seriousness that they actually bring into it. Now, we heard yesterday that they're putting a little bit more stock into this stage, but, Vinny 39, Josh 92, Pat 63. I mean, especially Josh and Pat had a good stage at the back end of last year. So if they're not performing, then suddenly the team loses a lot. Bouncer came back and was good, and Worthy had a spectacular game. But I do see a world in which these guys are going to go from being still around the top to very much falling to that bottom part of the bracket if they don't actually continue to put time into the game.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like now we're at a point where maybe the scene can catch up. Maybe these roster iterations may start to actually compete and start to understand the game on a deeper level that these players once had. They once had that knowledge. They once had that experience. And now, with that discussion of them tapering away their playtime, tapering away their seriousness, they could well and truly fall down the ladder, which I would hate to see. I definitely want to see them up at the top. But speaking of around the top, this is somewhere I don't think Man LFO are going to get to. It's a tough ask. That's all I'm going to say, guys. There's a lot of players that in this league now that are going to make this very competitive. I think that it's not one for one in terms of Cairo player coming in, but it certainly seems like it's worked.
Yeah, I mean, the game yesterday, we casted it against Panic 7-5, ultimately quite close in the end. I think the trend throughout that game is that both teams made quite a few very noteworthy mistakes, and it made the rounds quite volatile. So I think heading into this, it's again going to be a test of fundamentals, which often is the case against Kelton's Knights. So Man Esports need to be careful that they're not making mistakes that are easy to punish, because as much as we can rag on Kelton's Knights not playing the game as much, they are going to be clued in, especially if it's a very staple map to those kinds of mistakes, whether it's overpeaking, overstepping your mark, roaming when you shouldn't. Players, one that comes to mind yesterday, yes, great 137 EPS, but there are a couple of rounds where you just completely threw. And you can't be doing that against Kelton's Knights because they will capitalize on that advantage.
I think for me as well, if I'm Man LFO as a team, part of that core unit of 5, I'm thinking we should not be losing to a team like Kelton's Knights who are washed, who are not very much looking to go to majors and progress as a team and improve. This roster of its iteration that has been put together to improve and to grow and to eventually become one of the best, if not the best, in the region. If you're losing to Kelton's Knights, you're obviously not on the right path to that.
That's very fair. I think that's a conversation that probably will come back later in the stage as well to see where Kelton's Knights are actually at. Because right now, I feel like we don't have a firm grasp on what they're going to be able to achieve. Last year, it felt like maybe just the instability of the region, it felt a little bit different. It felt like Kelton's Knights with that experience could do things. But now that we've had a lot of players come in and get their first year under their belt, conversation is changing completely. One player, Guz, that probably highlights the comparison of experience versus inexperience might well be this matchup here. Both absolute fraggers. Players only had a year under his belt, whereas Worthy's had, 5-6 years?
Yeah, and again, I was critiquing player a little bit yesterday based on consistency, and the thing in this head-to-head for me that reflects that is the cost. So 67 compared to 80 for Worthy. It's quite a discrepancy, and it means that players obviously having big rounds, but not as many, and consistency, again, going to be key.
Yeah, I'm not meaning to rag on EPS, but I don't know how you can lose 3 out of 3 categories and you're somehow high-rated on the EPS, so... At that point, I just don't even know.
It's science.
I don't know how it works.
It's just don't
I will
question
say,
it.
though, in terms of going back to player, we obviously saw him yesterday. It was on Chalet playing the Azami, and he loved to play Library Stairs and then kind of wander off. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But he is very much, I think, the kind of player who can maybe play off of that confidence if he's playing well. And I think that's probably a little bit to the whole team for Man Esports. To me, they kind of look like the sort of team that if they're fit and firing and they're playing well, they'll snowball. And if they don't, it's kind of like what Oda said about Antic. The mental aspect then becomes a big factor. I could very much see that team falling apart mentally during the middle portion of a game. If they start poor, Kelton's Knights get on a bit of a run, I could see them crumble.
You can see the emotion on them, right? We've seen probably two of the most emotional players in terms of, Cairo and Chef Jeff. Chef Jeff shows it externally. It feels like Cairo, for much of the conversation, is a bit more internal with it. But, two very emotional players that when they're at their peak, they are incredibly dangerous to verse. But let's jump into the maps now, figure out where we're going to be headed for this series. I just, really would love to stick away from Chalet at this point. Thank you for that, Kelton's Knights. I don't think Kelton's Knights have man LFO on Chalet. I don't think that's a fair matchup. But we are going to be going to Clubhouse. So, does it change the conversation, Guz?
I think on the balance of this matchup, with both teams banning out the others' played map yesterday, and then it coming down to the two most staple maps many regard in Oregon and Clubhouse, it's probably a win for Kelton's Knights, really, in terms of that experience game and the fundamentals and the synergy that those guys have been able to build over time. Injecting Bouncing into the team is not going to be as rapid of a change that we've had to see from Man LFO, right? So, Clubhouse for me, W for Kelton's Knights in terms of map veto and steering it in the right direction. I don't think it's going to necessarily favour anything in terms of play style, but again, it comes back to that fundamental discussion.
Yeah, I think you kind of look at the start of that graphic too, which is very much a lot of the more attacking orientated maps being banned out by Kelton's Knights and maybe not backing themselves in to play a roam game, to get into that fragging game against some of these more young gunners. They want to keep it simple, play structure, play setup, focused siege. What better than Clubhouse to do that? So I think they've actually probably got themselves into a good position for this particular game. But again, it goes back to the conversation I was having earlier, which is very much, if you're Man Esports, you're going to Clubhouse, you're going up against Kelton's Knights, you should still be in a far better position moving forward as a roster, moving into this new age of Siege. You need to be beating them here. Doesn't matter what map it is.
The beautiful thing is there's only one way to find out. That's to get into the server. Dev and Mandy, stand by for the matchup.
I'm going to sit by, if that's all right with you. Otherwise, I won't fit in the frame. But I will get to this match. And Mandy, it should be a good one. It should be a fun one because we don't really know where Kelton's Knights are sitting in this stage.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say the same about Man Esports, to be honest. I feel like for both of these two, I see this matchup as a pretty even one between them. I'm not exactly sure how much the desk would agree with me on that one, but I feel like this should be a pretty telling match between them.
Very much. Clubhouse is the battleground, and as the guys on the desk said, a fantastic, beautiful staple, especially for a team like Kelton's Knights. The veterans, they love this map. This is an oldie but a goodie. Man Esports coming off a win yesterday, though a tight one over Panic. Kelton's Knights on the flip side, really struggling against Antic on Skyscraper. 7-3 in their deficit now, looking for their first points. And Kelton is back on the squad, as we said yesterday, bouncing balls in the server. It should be nice for him to finally feel some air beneath his wings and finally get a win on the board. It's not going to be easy against this ex-Mammoth Odium hybrid roster on Man Esports.
I'm not sure how the predictions have gone for this game, to be honest. I think most of us have gone Kelton's Knights, right?
I think everybody went Kelton's Knights.
That's really strange to me because I feel like between these two teams, I would have guessed at least some of us would have gone Man Esports here. Looking at their lineup now and having it gone to Clubhouse as well, I've got a bit more faith. I think, what on earth does it say there?
What did Sheffy do?
No, I missed it.
Missed it,
I wasn't
Sheffy.
paying attention.
Whoever's on
sorry.
replays, if you can grab that, I will be very happy. I'll give you a big
Sorry,
kiss.
Jeff. We're not observant enough.
I won't.
Did someone tell him to do it again?
Come on, Sheffy.
Do it again. Do it again.
Is it a little whiteboard or is it like
No,
a
it's like a whiteboard. It's like an OCE League whiteboard.
Oh,
you know?
that's very cool.
It's very OCE League of him.
Since we're looking at everyone's camera... Oh, we weren't.
Oh, no,
I was
no,
going to say
no.
Scars, mate. Make your bed. Come on. Make your bed. I'm disappointed in any OCE player that does not make their bed. Like, come on, do the bare minimum.
That's fair enough. Anyway, we're in Clubhouse. So Maverick and Thatcher have both slipped through the ban phase, which means that balls open. That's a good thing.
We saw an ace ban yesterday on Clubhouse, and
We
I
did.
was a little bit bemused by it. Seeing one again.
Seems popular. Don't know why, to be honest. Less hard breach, Clubhouse equals bad,
but
I guess.
I would have thought that Mav would be a more impactful ban. Nonetheless.
Nevertheless.
Alas.
Walls will be opened, which is good for this
Yeah.
map.
Hatches as well.
Hatches will be opened, which is also very good.
The Hibana has made it
Yes.
through on Hunter. I'm not sure if we've got secondary high breaches on Sheffy as well, but we could with the buck. Oh, I quite like this castle barricade. We've got a little bit of an extended roam potentially cooking up. I just realised that they've all changed
Yeah,
their
I know.
bloody names.
That's what I was looking at as well.
I was like,
they're all in it. See, they're
They're
the
all
Kelton's
bouncing.
Knights now.
Yeah.
They are the Kelton's Knights. They're Kelton themed, except for Josh. But aside from that, they are Kelton themed now. That's excellent.
It's going to get so hard because, you know, I saw bouncing balls and I was like, oh yeah, bouncing on the castle. And then we switched to bouncing Vin. And I'm like, oh no, Vinny. Oh well, at least Josh is being sensible.
They've even got like the capitalization right as well. Like they haven't put any capital letters in it. This is excellent.
It's funny because it makes everyone, like everyone's got bouncing and then their name. So it makes it look like bouncing's name is just balls.
Okay.
All right. Well, Kelton himself is made to look a little bit silly at the moment as he can't even find a drone. He is mere moments away from being swung. And Josh somehow manages to find a kill on this big run out. Almost traded from outside. A cheeky wall bang, but it doesn't land. And Josh is able to get back to side. That's what you get when you don't have a silly name.
That second wallbang's pretty close as well. Anyway, here's Kelton now under the pump slightly with his castle barricade being taken away, but I think he has fallen off from that position. There's a player in the top floor, Worthy, still not cleared outside of Gym. The flashbang will sink onto him, which will force him off the fight for now. But Man Esports got something to worry about.
Yeah. Kara's in a really tough position, to be honest, just in the middle of bar. Hatch is open below him, but he can't overextend or he may lose his life. Worthy up above. He's done even more damage and finished off Chef. That really restricts the vertical potential now for Man Esports. And Hunter is still really worried about this player up above. Scars as well. They're just hoping that somebody will walk into their lines of sight and bring that numbers back in their favor.
It is a basement execute, and even with even numbers advantage, it is pretty hard to land that. So at a numbers disadvantage now for Man Esports, it should very much be a Kelton's Knights round to win from here on out. Worthy still above as well. Holding out the pressure from the kitchen hatch drop, there is one player inside of Pantry who may meet his demise in a few moments.
He's just biding his time. Bouncing's got a really nasty angle though. Kyra is low HP. I just can't see how this would work, especially as Worthy has found yet another kill. Great shot though there from Scars. Does manage to get a trade on through. Both of these attackers now bunched up together with the diffuser still up in kitchen. And now Kyra has to try and come to his teammates' aid. Worthy's looking to make his way down. He's already had a phenomenal round, looking for another one here. With Shoddy in hand, IQ on the other side. Bit of damage onto Scars, finishes him off. All up to Kyra, low HP. There's the 4K for Worthy. Oh, like days of old. Like days of old. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. 4K for Worthy.
It's like watching the Chiefs all over again. We've got Bouncing and Worthy on the same team again. And yeah, Worthy popping off 4 kills in the rounds on a very successful roam there for Kelton's Knights. Man Esports being completely dismantled on their entry. First of all, by a pretty good run out from Josh, and then the rest of the kills going in their way as well.
It's nice to see Worthy doing something. I feel like he's been he's been quiet for a bit, I reckon. Like after all the hype in 2021.
Bang. Sorry.
He did a good bang there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it's like, it's kind of hard to compare, right? Because like Worthy in 2021 was so, like definitely
he was
the
just
best,
like
by far
hands
and away,
down the
right?
best player
Undisputed
in the region.
MVP. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit unfair to compare it to Worthy in 2021 when he was like on the Chiefs and playing all the time and stuff like that.
I guess I'm more remarking on how peculiar it is and how funny it is that he went from being like the best player in the game, you know, retires when Chiefs disbands, and then comes back on Kelton's Knights, and he was just like profoundly average. He was just like so not notable.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what happens when you don't play the game every day for like 8 hours a day or whatever. It's not your job anymore,
I
right?
thought these guys just wake up and they're insane. That was how I thought it was.
Oh, really? It's
I'm
in their
waiting-
genes. It's in their blood.
I'm waiting for the day that I wake up and I suddenly am good at the game.
I don't think that's how it works, though, unfortunately. Would you think of it? You might not believe it, but it actually takes some practice and hard work to be good at something.
Really, I've never had practice or hard work at anything in my life, so.
You can't be saying that on broadcast. We're meant to be professionals. Anyway, here we go.
Professional
So
yappers.
map trick on the wall for Cairo decided to do the bottom first, and now the top, and Scars will land that one pretty easily with an Ash charge, and that's at least 1 point of entry now for Mana LFO. The bomb site is bedroom and gym now, and as they look for the jacuzzi wall, at least that does open up the bomb site a little bit, make Kelton Knights worry, both sides of the push. This is so odd. Why are they always doing the bottom first? But I guess it's like so that they can see or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
if they prefer it that way, then
I mean, it's a
fair
bit
play.
like scary when the wall's electrified, no? But I mean, to be fair, Cairo hasn't really taken any damage for it, so I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
There is a
Yeah.
specific way you can do it where you don't take damage even while you're kind of touching the wall on rappel. I don't know exactly the mechanics of it. It's something I would ask someone like Fisher Guy. He would have that down pat.
Mhm.
Speaking of Pat, here he is in bathroom, looking for an opportunity to get a nice C4 kill once that breach is open. I expect it's going to be the Buck to come over. Wait, am I crazy? No, we don't have a Buck. The Ash, I guess, could come over and open up the wall. Oh, it's Chef. He's going to be a makeshift Buck with his secondary shoddy. And with that, the mirror window is also going to be taken down. I don't know what the point is in that, Pat. I guess, you know, protect yourself from any remote hard breach like a Hibana, which, of course, is not present.
So Man LFO playing a slow game for now. They've opened up every ball. They've made Knights worry about every part of the map, but they are rendezvousing all their players over on the jacuzzi side of the map now, so it does make me think they are looking to plan out their execute in the next couple seconds. Bouncing down below seems pretty ready for that though. There is a player all the way inside of kitchen, holding on to the bottom of main stairs. That protects some of his players from being backstabbed. The line scan will ring out. Makes me think Man LFO are going for it.
Indeed they are. Chef Jeff's the first one in the building. Cairo has dropped, and Bouncing's actually been caught out. Rather, Worthy has been caught out. As I say that Bouncing is as well, and it looks like it's just a 2v2. Oh, what a shot from player. Poor Pat. Left in a 1v2. His position potentially known, but player, that was a little bit awkward, but he does get the kill regardless. And with that, man, Esports get a pretty solid attack round win.
Oh my god. Yeah, not bad. Oh, I thought that was really good from Man LFO, to be honest. The slow game definitely paid dividends for them there, opening up every wall, separating out the plays of Kelton Knights, and then going for what was a quite explosive execute in towards the end there. Simultaneous, well done, well coordinated. Yeah, caught them off guard.
Also, little things like having Worthy being watched downstairs with the Lions still lurking in that hallway, ready for Kelton's Knights to try and make a move and deny that execute. So great stuff from Man Esports. But funnily enough, Kelton's Knights are actually just going to go repeat the exact same bomb site. They want to go to gym again. They don't want to go and change things up, go cache CCTV or even potentially bar. They're probably saying to themselves right now, look, it really doesn't take much to fix up that round.
I think that's a pretty fair philosophy going into it as well. Probably can go back and look at some of those mistakes and realise that all they need to do is maybe a bit more attention towards the breach or some kind of intel or something. I don't know. Whatever it takes for them to be able to get a better read, I think, on what Man LFO are doing. They might have even just pinned it down to the gunfights, to be honest. It really felt like at the end that Man LFO just ran all over them with their engagements as well. So it could just be small things that Kelton's Knights are happy to fix up.
I do wonder whether Man Esports are going to go for a very similar, extremely Jacuzzi-centric push like they did last time. Really, I think it was just one lurker, right? Everyone else was pushing in from Jacuzzi, more or less. Similar start, though. Sheffy, once again, you will not catch this man without at least a secondary shotgun. He is such a shotgun enthusiast. And the Grim Bailiff is handy for a little bit of soft breach here and there. Hunter's already opened up the external con wall. This is a nice, pretty basic, but fundamental start. Oh, Cairo struggling a little bit with the wall here on the map.
That's dangerous. See, that scares me, right? Like, oh.
What?
So,
What?
if you do it from the top, do you not, like, does it not go through both walls?
I don't think that works.
That was really strange.
I don't think I have a C, but I don't think that works.
No, I don't know if that's spectator bug or if it actually, like, it did it, right? Because like,
yeah, so it's not done. The wall's still reared. So he only did one side of the wall. He didn't make a full hole.
And then the other side of the wall.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Anyway, I think he thought he got it. Regardless, the primary objective here is opening up this Jacuzzi wall. And I'm going to be real, this is not pretty, Cairo. He's trying to just deny Bandit Juggle and take out the Bandit batteries, which may work.
It did. That's not bad. Flashbang in, make sure the trick can't come through. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair enough, I guess.
That's the job.
Yeah.
Question is, how are they going to deal with Pat here? Oh, Bouncing's actually found his pick as well. Chef Jeff's gone down. Of course, we already saw Scars disconnect earlier in the round, so this is not a great position for Man Esports to be in. 3 versus 5. Out goes the C4, but doesn't land anything for poor Pat. Cairo's in a solid position with Hunter, but I don't think they really have an opportunity here to make a move.
Hunter is going to try and initiate one of his teammates inside a bathroom. Flashbangs will be sent in, and Pat is on the other side to meet him.
Oh, wow. Where is Pat? I think he's completely vacated the vicinity. Doesn't matter because Cairo is left all alone. He's found 1 kill. Now brings out the pistol. He's just got really unfortunately timed there by Vinny as well. Smacking out that mirror window. Oh, Vinny, speaking of timing, what was that? Doesn't matter. He can land the headshot regardless. And Scars has rejoined the game, but Kelton's Knights have regained the advantage here.
So yeah, understandably, we are in a technical pause, allowing Scars to have a moment to jump back in and make sure everything is working as planned. As I understand how the rulebook goes, I don't think that round can be replayed despite the disconnect, because it was too late into the round. There is a threshold in which that can be replayed.
Well, it was still...
But still solid round there for Kelton's Knights.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like even regardless of that that disconnect, Kelton's Knights were always in control. There weren't a lot of ingredients there for Man to try and actually break into that site. Not like they did previously. But Kelton's Knights, 2-1 up, go back downstairs to the basement. And this is the bomb site that they started so strongly with in the first round. The roam game from, I believe it was Worthy, right? Who ended up getting that 4K.
That being said,
It was never addressed.
it does look like they've changed their strategy quite significantly. There's no longer the castle setup of a Bouncing Bulls, the Kelton himself, and it looks like they're more centered in around the bomb site. They've brought along the key, they've brought along Mirror, stuff like your mute. It makes me think that they're less inclined to go for a roam and more inclined to sit on the site, hunker down, make a fortress of the basement.
I feel like it'd be good to at least have some kind of a roam going on. Maybe for Worthy, since he was so proficient on it last time around. I can see at the moment Josh and Worthy both actually on that top floor. Josh has been spotted here by player's drone. Ironically, looking for drones, but not able to see the one right in front of his eyes.
I feel like I can never see drones, to be honest. Like,
We've already established that we have bad eyesight.
yeah, we've got really bad eyesight. It's terrible. I mean, like, everything kind of looks like the same color on this map when it's like a drone, right?
Speaking of drones, that's a nice one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
On the
tons of
bomb site as
info.
well, yeah, exactly. This could very much facilitate a rush from dirt.
They could be cooking here.
Chef is cooking.
Who's going to be the one to open it? 3 players here in dirt. Josh is finally rotating over, but he doesn't seem aware, and he's just vacated it as well.
Surely they know now, right? They've shot like 2 or 3 drones inside of the
No,
bomb
Worthy's
site
got
now?
no idea. He's
No,
trying to get
maybe
a,
they don't.
He's trying to get a vert C4 going. I mean, Vinny is the main one.
Oh no, they've given up on this.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, okay. You know what? I feel like this is fair enough from Man Esports. They've got the drone in the bomb site, and they've realised that there are like 5 people on the bomb site. Do you really want to go for the rush at that point, right? No.
Very
But before
risky.
that, they had the drone in the bomb site, and there was only like 2 people there. That's when they could have done it. But I think, like, honestly, I feel like this is the right decision.
It does mean that they've wasted a lot of time prepping for something that did not eventuate. So has this roam almost completely fallen off? I believe
That's what I'm
Bouncing is
thinking as
still-
well.
I think Bouncing was still upstairs, if I'm not wrong.
I
On
can see
Illusion.
1. Oh,
No,
wow,
Bouncing's back.
yeah,
All
yeah.
5 on site.
We know how to count to 5.
Some of us.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, they're just going back and pivoting into like a really normal push.
I
Let's
mean,
open up the
like-
hatches, guys.
I feel like that's fair enough. To be honest, do you really want to be rushing into full anchor setup? No. Have you now sunk a lot of time and made your execute much harder for yourself? Yes, but I think between the 2 decisions, this is probably the right one.
This is good info. Like, these drones are doing the Lord's work. That boost spot, though, is really awkward. Josh is in such a good spot. I like this combo, though. The guy on the hatch is going to open up the barricade on dirt so that Scars can peek without his position being revealed. But you can tell that, like, Josh knows
Good
about
nade.
it. That's a great nade! Oh, and it does enable the kill as well. That is perfect from Scars. And now, Man Esports are in pole position. Bouncing finds 1. Oh, this is so awkward, but Chef has gone big. He is cooking indeed. A 4v2 now. Bottom main stairs is a solid position for him to hold. Players coming in from blue, and Scars is forcing that diffuser down. Kelton's Knights have to spring to life here. Cairo dueling for a brief moment, but doesn't secure his kill. It's all Scars this round. Vinny v2. Cairo and Scars on the other side, both players separated, and Vinny doesn't seem to have the read. Oh, he needed that headshot. How much he needed that headshot. Cairo lands a bit of damage, and now Vinny left clueless, left caught out of position. He must take this 1v1 onto Scars on site, but he doesn't even know where the position is. Pumped up Chef Jeff as Man Esports secure a really solid round of attack.
I thought that was a good round from Man Esports. Really calculated what they decided to do there. They had an opportunity presented before them. They dialed it back, really slowed it down, actually assessed that option, decided better for it, went off, and I think ultimately because they'd done that, they'd really hidden what they actually ended up going for at the end there with the execute. It looked like Kelton's Knights didn't have the right read on what they were eventually going to do, which was drop the kitchen hatch, and it happened so suddenly, especially off the back of that first pick from Scars, that it just caught them off guard.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a questionable start to the round, right? Like droning out one potential rush and then changing your mind, but you can't question the results. I think they really tamed it. They really figured out how to make it work, and in the end they did actually utilize that dirt push from Scars, who, by the way, debutant, and kicking it here. He's looked really good. Like, he doesn't look like a traditional kind of rookie player who's maybe really mechanically gifted but a bit overzealous. No, that was really patient and really smart from him, and I like it.
10 seconds to go.
Certainly impressed by this team so far against Kelton's Knights. Keep in mind the score, but it's still even between these two teams. As it should be, in my opinion. I think this is a pretty even matchup between them, and it is proving so.
Yeah, and yet we all picked Kelton's Knights.
Yeah, I really don't know why we did that, to be honest. Like, looking back on it, like, what are we doing
I think
anyway?
Man Esports struggled a little bit yesterday against Panic, and I think that was a bit of a red flag, but they did win, unlike Kelton's Knights against Antics. So
or anyway.
I think we maybe all just have a little bit of nostalgia bias. We're
Hunter.
old souls.
I was going to say, Hunter now has jumped onto the Blitz, which is exciting.
It is a bit of a Hunter classic. He loves his shields. And
You shouldn't be able to melee a goo mine. It should go in your hand. This makes sense.
thank you, Realism Police. Well, meleeing those goo mines does mean that it has been very sneaky. Hunter and Chef getting in here without having to shoot at all. This is very interesting. So there is a Banshee there, but it's about to get EMP'd out. Where is the rest of the team? And are they ready to smash on through this?
I see. So they're going to use the new shield rework to go and bonk their way through. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here he goes. He does get a few shots. Oh, he's actually going to aim down sights and lose his fight. Very risky behavior from Hunter. Scars is able to get the trade on back, and players also made his way deep into sight. He's getting in there, and he's found a kill as well. Pat goes down. Suddenly, the bomb site has been stolen away. Cairo looking to try and put some extra pressure on, but this is awkward. This retake is proving to be delivering in spades. Chef cannot get that diffuser down. Josh knows his position, but can't quite land the shots. And so Cairo needs to try and find a way to cover his teammate. Chef, he's just so clueless. Oh, that's got to hurt. A big impact. A second one from Vinny will deliver the killing blow, leaving it up to Cairo. 1v2 now. Oh, you got to land that shot, mate. Josh bests him. And after a valid attempt of a rush, Man Esports are sent packing.
I don't mind the idea from Man. Look, they've got the info on the bomb site. They've realized there's a Malusi there. They've planned out the push. Player comes in for the pinch. But I think ultimately Kelton's Knights were pretty coordinated there on the retake. Josh in particular, we were on board with Josh, and I think in his position, especially inside of blue, it could have been really tempting just swing your way on into Arsenal, back behind the box, take those gunfights, but he sat there and played the patience game for a little bit. He waited for Vin, he waited for the rest of his teammates to be recalled back onto the bomb site. They took the fights together. I just feel like Kelton's Knights really staying calm in that situation and composed, and I think Josh especially making the right decisions to wait for his teammates to go in for the retake.
Oh, well. 3-2 is where we sit now, Mandy, which means that Kelton's Knights could lock in the half if they can win on Gym. How funny is it that we're playing Clubhouse and there's only 2 bomb sites that we've seen 5 rounds in, 6 rounds in now. It's just Gym basement over and over again.
It's I don't know. I don't mind it, to be honest, because I think there's always the temptation where, like, if something's broken, then try something completely new, rather than if something's broken, try and fix it. So
it does mean that all of these bomb sites have been competitive. Both teams have won both of the bomb sites that have been played so far. Man Esports have won attacks on the basement and attacks onto the top floor, and Kelton's Knights can say the same for their defense as well.
I don't mind it. I think there's not really a right way to play that particular rotation, to be honest. It's, I think, each to their own, and I think between these two teams, they seem like teams that are alright with going for iterations and permutations of their strategies rather than trying something completely different, which I can respect as well.
Yeah. No, I do love that. Let's see if Kara has a bit more luck on
I
this.
don't understand this. So it's still only gone onto one side of the wall.
Because the very top you can't actually
No,
get.
no,
but yeah,
no.
he
That's
just
what I'm
missed a
saying.
spot before.
No. It's open now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He just
But-
missed a spot before.
So it doesn't matter if you get both sides, or is that spectator bug?
It's just the very top panel. You know how there's that extra red metal bar? You don't need to get that bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So can you be shot through it, or is that indestructible, the red thing, or is that like?
It's indestructible. I don't
client-sided?
think. Yeah, no, I don't think you
Do you know
can get
what I
shot
mean?
at the top there. Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
that's interesting.
What is this artwork from Cairo? It ain't pretty, but I won't criticize it because I
Oh
guess
well.
it'll work.
Oh
I
well.
mean, it's good for a nice long angle if you get on that rappel, but regardless, Kelton's Knights are just kind of waiting, sitting pretty elsewhere. Man Esports have made pretty solid progress. I mean, here comes the breach as well.
Oh, that's so interesting. I've never seen that before. I feel like I should have at this point in our years of casting, but
Maybe. Oh, Kara's an innovator. Look at this
very
from player,
interesting.
man.
Here he goes. There
What are
is
you
someone
doing?
waiting for him.
Yeah,
There
he's
are two
looking the wrong
people
way.
waiting for him.
Oh,
Oh dear.
that was a bit awkward. I'll be honest. That was really awkward. He's going to jump out, and he will have to regroup. But the jig is up now. The position revealed. Sheffy is once again here on the Logi hatch, and he's got the bees to work.
Don't do
Oh,
it.
no, the timing. Mate, if he was watching for a second longer, he might have actually landed some bullets there. Man Esports have tried a few things, and nothing has really gained them much ground as of yet.
I mean, I don't mind this, right? Don't overcommit to a plan that you don't really think is going to work. That's all right. They've still got their 5 plays up for it. But as you've been pointing out, the time is ticking away. Yes, shooting down keeper barricades. This is good. Very good. Anyway,
Very cool.
yeah, excellent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind the calculated approach from Man Esports, but it could come to bite them back with only 40 seconds left to go. The time is ticking away, and they need to make a decision soon.
And the first player has been picked, bouncing a really aggressive peek from outside of Garage. And still this mirror window has not been dealt with, so Pat's going to find a kill off of it. A desperate drop through the hatch for Sheffy. Player decides, yeah, maybe I will walk up the main stairs. But one is all he will find, and Kelton's Knights lock in a very solid 4-2 on their defensive club.
Yeah, so I think Man Esports there, I didn't mind the idea of being a bit more calculated about what you're trying to do, but then when it actually came push to shove, it looks a bit panic, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
A bit panic. No,
A
that was
bit-
yesterday they played Panic.
Oh, really? It was
Yeah.
yesterday. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But
But thanks
They-
for your pity laugh there.
it looked,
It was all right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit scrappy, you know. And I think Kelton's Knights were just a bit more composed that time around. Don't overpeak anything, be a bit disciplined about it, and yeah.
You made a cool point that Man Esports are like not going to overcommit to an idea when they realize, oh, actually, no, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
Like if they, got a player lurking up the main
I
stairs.
still, look, I still stand by that point. I think,
yeah, I like that.
yeah,
think
I
it's
still
true.
stand by that, except then when you have one idea that doesn't work, then you have to come up with another one, and that's often quite challenging to do, right? So
Yeah, I feel like Man have quite a few ideas, but I don't think many of them are great. Like, they're not overcommitting. They're kind of bouncing between
this is
a
interesting.
couple of average ideas.
The wall is open.
The wall is open.
So the center wall is a walk-in hole. It's like a standing
Ah,
hole
yeah.
in the triple wall.
Have they
That's
got mirrors on
interesting.
both sides? No,
No,
just
there's
the
only
one.
got the one mirror on the one side. I don't really know what.
Is it like walkable?
Yes, it's a standing hole. They've opened the whole thing. I don't really know what like that means. You know, does it mean like? What does it mean? I guess it means that if you're the defense, you can like flip your defense if you want to go play in short or something.
Yeah,
but
you can get quite aggressive about it.
I guess
can't
so.
you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be a very classic like Kairu move to go and pull in the late round or something like that, right? So I don't mind the mobility.
Wow, the 3-floor vert. We love that. Old and classic. Just like these claymores on the garage ladder. So what is this attack going to be? I mean, for a first, it looks like there's not really any roam game from Man Esports. No, Scar's continuing to tempt with the idea of loitering around main stairs, but he's flushed back by the buck, which is good. Very smart for him not to overcommit. He does have a Valkyrie camo for potential late round aggro or even a C4, which is what he's going to go for here. So Nitro out. I think the Nitro might have been heard.
Do it now.
Oh, the
Yeah.
timing was perfect. I think Worthy knew about that Nitro, and yet he still walked right into it.
Yeah, nice from Scars. Well timed against the one vertical player, the player that you want active in this mid-round. And yeah, that's a lot of vertical power taken away now for Kelton Knights. They really don't have any redundancy at all, not even in breach charges. So they've got to come up with a new plan if they want to clear out the back of Arsenal. It does look like they've now seen the very peculiar setup going on triple wall and maybe looking to face that head on. That's actually been reinforced off now.
All right.
I don't, like, honestly, to be honest, I don't really get it. Like,
We're playing 4D chess, man.
yeah, I think, yeah, this is another level I just don't understand, really. Anyway, so that triple wall's now being reinforced off upon the realization that this is the mode of attack that Kelton Knights are going for. Nevertheless, they can open this up with some range hard breach on the sides of Pat. But even then, it doesn't seem super clear right now what Kelton Knights are going to posture for.
All right, well, here come the X-Kairos to try and finish off what's left of this mirror window. It's really been made a cheese grater of. And Chef Jeff is going to try and land a Nitro over the top. Devastating. Pat's gone on the left-hand side. Oh, Pat's going deep.
He's going in.
Hang on a second. Quite a few players have gone deep. The C4 doesn't find its mark, but the Vector does. And Vinny goes down looking for a repeat now. And these holes opened by the Hibana now work in its adversity. 3 versus 5 for Kelton's Knights, and they're all pushing from the same goddamn direction. They do not have an entrance, but they found a pick. Not enough, though, it seems, as Chef Jeff continues to keep Kelton's Knights at bay. Pick here or there, but eventually they will fall. Pat against 2, doesn't find his man. And in the second half, the defense seems strong for Man LFO.
Yeah, really interesting defense from Man LFO with the setup on the triple wall. I think it bamboozled Kelton's Knights as much as it bamboozled us as well on the cast. By the time they hit the triple wall, they realized, oh, the wall that was open about 3 seconds ago is now closed. That's very strange. What do we do now? They tried to open it up and unfortunately fell down to Chef Jeff, who was re-peeking for God's Galore on that triple wall and managed to find 2 or 3 picks from there. Well played from him. And yeah, I think Kelton's Knights really just stalling out there, not really knowing what to do once they'd hit this point.
Bang.
Oh god.
You know what's funny is I think it was actually the Hibana who walked past, and that was why Chef shot, and then it was the Hibana's teammate, the one that died. He'd be so mad. Yeah.
Oh dear.
That's the funny thing about opening up a mirror window like that. It's like, you know, they can still shoot you through it. Like, it's actually kind of a gnarly angle because they could just play hard on the reinforced wall with this tiny hole. Sucks to be you, I guess.
Anyway.
Guess what? 8 rounds in, and we still have only seen 2 bomb sites on
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
that's exactly what I was going to say, Dev. Anyway, we're playing another bomb site now that isn't the basement, and it is still gym and bedroom.
Oh my god. This is the gym, bedroom, and basement show right here.
I mean, if you want like a crash course on 2 bomb sites in the map, yeah, look, fair enough. This is the matchup that you want to be playing in.
You know how we say like you're 007? You're doing a James Bond? If
Yeah.
007?
Yeah.
Well, Hunter's doing a Spartan 117 for any Halo fans out there. That would be funny if you understood that reference, which you clearly don't.
No, I don't.
Also, I can tell by the look in your eyes that you really do not care.
I do.
Sure
I
you do.
promise.
Sure
I
you
was just, yeah, I'm not that good at references. Sorry. I really want to be better at references. I spent the entire of summer this year watching all of Star Wars, like everything
Wow.
from like Clone Wars, Rebels,
Wow,
like
oh, that's hella-
everything.
That
So
is-
if you throw a Star Wars thing at me, I probably still won't get it because I think I've crammed too much
Alright.
information in my brain.
Do you know, Luke, I am your father? Is that,
yes,
does that
of
ring
course.
a bell?
Yes, of course.
Good. Well, if you didn't know that one, I
Okay.
don't think you have a right to say that you're a Star Wars fan.
They're playing the game now. They're actually at the building and they're opening the walls, which is good.
Great start.
It looks like they're going to sweep the map because they've opened up a big entry hole and they've got some players outside the big entry hole, and Bouncin is outside a garage. There is an Azami on the rafters who's looking at him at the moment. He's looking at the stairs at least and having a think about maybe stunting this push. I think the player is pretty stuck in his position.
No DMRs though, so I think his Kiva barrier is going to be pretty safe here. A Bouncing could have been running the SR25 DMR to deal with this position, but not
Oh,
to
that's
be.
horrible timing for Scars.
Yeah, that's really awkward, but Scars
Oh, he
somehow
killed him.
manages to get the kill. All right, well, nice ideas from Kelton's Knights, but it's like throwing Balls are sanded a wall. It finds absolutely nothing. Here comes a drone over, and player is a bit bamboozled by that. Like, okay, throw a drone at me. What's
Someone
that
was in
do?
garage and they like slipped down the boiler lounge
no.
at the last second.
It's embarrassing.
Vinny,
Vinny, did you not see him?
You've seen him.
You saw him, Vinny. Thank God he finally gets that kill. Player has been finished off. And he is such low HP. Hang on a second. Worthy has clawed one back as well. Cairo's in a really awkward position. I think he's been droned. I think he's been spotted. But can he be fragged out? Here comes the flash. Cairo's blind. This is where the swing needs to come through. But Cairo finds his kill anyway. And there is no trade. No trade at all for Kelton's Knights. Both players low on HP. Both left lost as they look to try and push in, but it seems to be a desperate attempt. Hunter finds the final two, and that's a second round straight for Man LFO. They're beginning to fire up.
They're doing well there. That was a pretty scrappy fight going over on the Cash and Rafters side of the map, but that's what it always is when you go for a map sweep on the top floor of Clubhouse. You're always going to be throwing bodies at it, and when you've got a crossfire established, such as the one that Player and Scars and Cairo had in the top floor, then that's what you get. You get a pretty scrappy early round. Oh, they're doing the thing.
All right. Man v.
Versus
Kelton's
Knights.
Knights. Are they stoid? What did it say? Are they scared? Maybe?
Are they... I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know. He was doing like he was spelling things wrong, which kind of triggered me. I'm going to be honest. Kelton's Knights with like an N-I-T-E.
Yeah,
I feel quite triggered by that.
me too. I actually don't understand. I don't think I'm on the same wavelength as this whiteboard.
Much that comes out of Chef's mouth.
As much as I am the whiteboard enthusiast of our
You are.
broadcast, I don't understand.
Imagine if it was a Star Wars reference, you would have gotten it.
Yeah, that would have been good. I would have been so proud of myself as well if I saw that.
Oh, no. All right.
Oh dear.
So for those astute of you who've been reading the chat, yes, we're going into a very brief technical pause while we get the final player from Man Esports back in. I don't know what's up with Scars' computer, but this is the second time he's DC'd now. Last time we actually reconnected really fast. But let's talk about Scars for a minute. I've been really impressed.
I think he's done very well
Yeah.
on this roster. He's been in the right place at the right time, and he's killing people, which is good.
And being a team player about it as well. He's not just like, a solo YOLO kind of guy. He's
Solo YOLO.
solo YOLO. Every now and then you come across a solo YOLO kind of player.
Our
Young,
attempts
talented.
at being like hip with the times with our speak is so bad. They're all awful.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty baller personally.
That's not bad from you.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. The pity compliment.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I don't think we're on the ball enough with like TikTok and stuff to know all the cool people.
I've
with
heard of
phrases
TikTok,
and
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna-
personally, I just use a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'll stop now.
Horrible. But yeah, no, I think you've been right. Scars has been good.
Yeah.
I think
Been
good pick up
impressed.
for these guys. Like honestly, he just seems like he's listening pretty well. To be
Yeah.
honest, he's there. He's doing what he's being told to do. He's listening, paying attention. Yeah,
Obviously, we don't
it's
know
good.
whether he's the one coming up with these ideas. Say, oh, no, I'll flank Dirt late round. I'll nade him out. Like, you got to give him credit. All right, let's have a look. Man versus Kelton Knight. Are they... Can someone from production tell me what on earth that
Is
says?
it like meant to say like stupid but with an O instead of a...
Stupid. Where's the P? It's an
Where's
O.
the P?
Is that meant to be an I? So it's S-T-U-O-I-D. Are they steward? Yeah, wow, that was so funny, Chef. Haha. Great joke, man. Great joke. Keep
I
up the
think-
whiteboard. That's hilarious.
I think his whiteboard is a bit steward. Whatever that means. Whatever
Got
that
him.
means. It's not.
Got him.
It's not hitting. It's not good.
At least he's got a great smile. Credit to him, man.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Oh God.
I'm glad somebody smiles on that team because Kyra never does. Have you
Um,
noticed that? He's always so locked in.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah.
He's a very serious person sometimes
I don't know.
when he wants to be.
I don't know. Kairo's a bit odd. He's a bit of an enigma. Really. I've got no idea what's going on sometimes. Like. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the same thing. Well, let's have a look at some replays of this game thus far. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're just over halfway through this game. The scoreline is set at 4 rounds apiece in the second half. It was a really solid first half from Kelton's Knights, 4-2 on their defense. And now Man Esports have tied it up with 2 of their own. I've been pretty impressed with some of the attacks, even though we've only seen 2 attacks won so far. I like the ideas that we're seeing in a lot of these attacks.
Me too. I think there's a good amount of thinking going on, but not too much overthinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, thinking is good, but if you're thinking too much, it's bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like on Clubhouse, so far, from Man Esports, is half of their attack. It's been like a fair amount of thinking, which is good.
A reasonable amount of
A reasonable amount of thinking. This, I think, was, of all the attacks that we've seen, this has probably been the more...
That was the worst one?
the stunted one, yeah, the most stunted of
Yeah.
all of them. Yeah, there was a bit less thinking going on there, which is unfortunate. Kelton's Knights, but...
Yeah. Speaking of attacks, I really would love to see more DMRs. Like, we saw it from Bliss. Like, they had an idea.
DMRs. I thought you said Deimos. Sorry.
I want to see both, actually, to be honest. Yeah, especially for people that aren't Aussie. I'm sure our accents are pretty cool
Yeah,
too
yeah.
when we say stuff like Deimos and DMRs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is Army, right? So powerful on Clubhouse, powerful on Chalet as well in the Bliss versus Antic game we saw earlier today. All it takes is one guy to bring a DMR, and you can clear out those keeper barriers. It almost nullifies the operator more or less. And yeah, there are ways that you can try and swing the player while he's shooting out that keeper barrier, but you know, I'd love to see it.
I think it'd be quite fun. I don't think every team is super keyed into that, but then again, there's also the trade-off of having to actually bring a DMR, right? Like, not...
Yeah, a lot of good operators have DMRs.
But not every player is going to be willing to play it, right? I think
Yeah.
that's the other part of it as well. Sometimes having the automatic rifles are just a bit better.
Yeah, not really any good
Yeah.
DMR options on this roster, to be honest. Like, you've got the AR-15 for Maverick, but I personally think that gun is only good on defense.
Look, I mean,
for
I think it's a
Tigreal.
trade-off, right? Like, if you look at their attacking lineup now, you've got Ashe and you've got Zofia. Do you really need a DMR in that
Yeah,
lineup?
maybe not.
Probably not, right?
But I haven't
So-
seen them ashing and Zafira and keeper barriers,
Yeah,
so let's come back to me in 3 minutes and we'll see if they've actually cleared this util.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know. I think it's a trade-off. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. You bring a high-caliber gun. Oh, and there's an LMG. No,
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
that's also a thing that can destroy barriers
Yeah, this is
without
actually
having to reload.
one of the first times that we're seeing that LMG, or any LMG really in OCE League so far. Yeah, the LMGs have had their buffs and their nerfs as well. You know, you move slower while you're using them, but the recoil is a hell of a lot better than it once was. I would love to see some action.
All right, so there's a mirror window on the breach, which has scared Pat a little bit. He's having a look on the inside and thinking, getting this wall open's a bit less fun now, so I might not do this just yet. Maybe call over bounce in instead. Actually, then it can be impact trick. That would be bad. Maybe not.
Yeah. It's not fun to breach a
not
wall
fun.
like that without Ace, and Ace has been banned by Man Esports, so perhaps that was part of their idea. Like, you really ideally need a Hibana, otherwise it's going to get impact tricked or something.
All part of the plan.
Oh, for the first time, we're seeing a different bomb site outside Church Arsenal and Gym
Oh,
Bedroom.
good point.
Thank goodness. Man Esports going to cash for the first time, and good progress already made by Kelton's Knights as they're starting to take control of the bedroom side of the map.
It's
Also,
interesting.
we did have the lurker down below, which I like as well.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that as well. I think they've realised that, okay, you know, we want to... Oh, hang on, there's player on the main stairs
Has he
as
been
well.
misdroned?
Yeah.
They are completely unaware. Like,
know-
nobody is watching main stairs.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
he's about to get a
watching
freebie.
this. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, player. Oh, okay,
Oh.
thank goodness for that.
Awkward. Here's the trade, though, at least. Really shouldn't have gotten the pick there. That is a lot of
Oh my
util gone.
God.
And the trade back. What a shot from Cairo.
Well, my ACOG.
Yeah, we love that. He's looking for another one. Oh, he saw him. He got spotted too. He's got a really solid gun to contest this, though. MP5K with an ACOG.
Wow. That's a fun combination, isn't it? Rafters is looking a bit lethal for the defense.
Especially since Wamai protecting that position with his gadgets. And yeah, no,
Oh my.
I don't know what we're doing here for Kelton's Knights. Second exothermic used just to get into construction. So the Mavericks, all we've got to try and open up these actual site walls. Oh, never mind. It's not even reinforced. Pat is instead just going to peek it.
This is quite the pickle now for Kelton's Knights to be in. They've got to brute force their way on in. Okay, never mind. Bouncing, which one? Bouncing Worthy has managed to find a pick somehow in the Calamity, and now it's 3-on-3.
Oh,
Flashbangs do
flashes.
initiate the entry.
And they seem to do a good job of it. Oh, but Vini goes down. And the timing, well, it seems to somehow work for Man Esports. I don't know what happened there. A hell of a lot of trades at the exact same time. Pat was the final one to fall, trading himself out, but it doesn't matter for Man Esports. 3 rounds of defense in a row gives them, for the very first time, the lead in this game.
I thought that was a pretty valiant effort from Kelton Knights there in the 3 versus 3 to try and make a last-ditch effort to jump into the bomb site, initiated by some flashbangs. But ultimately, I think the crossfires being held by the defense were just better off. Man Esports very much winning out the early game and then closing it out in the execute as well.
Unfortunate for Vinny there, like his timing pushing up red stairs was just off so that his teammate wasn't able to directly refrag him. So I think aside of that, Kelton's Knights almost had a good play. I don't know whether Vinny had any util left to try and clear the barbed wire that he ended up getting stuck in. Ironically as well, he was playing an LMG, which is part of the reason why he was walking so slow.
Yeah.
Oh, so many funny little tidbits. Unfortunate there for Kelton's Knights in the end, but of course game not over yet. Still a chance to push us. Still technically a chance to win in regulation, but going up against this basement setup, it's not going to be easy.
I must say, in general, it's been quite an odd season of Rainbow Six to watch, especially in Rainbow Six, I mean in OCE, because I think mechanically the game's just slowed down so much, right? In terms of like, you know, your movement and stuff like that. And yeah, especially now that like ACOGs are back in play and people holding angles now rather than doing some funky quick peeking stuff.
1.5s are gone.
1.5's gone, yeah. It definitely feels like a different game from a spectator point of view.
Yeah, it's all about that decision making between magnified scope or one times. Like you're not going to be able to just straddle and say, I'll just got the 1.5. It's pretty good at everything. Even the 2x, like the 2x was notably less zoomed in than the 2.5 magnification of these ACOGs. Oh, Man Esports ready to man up and make this work. Oh, nice. C4 just dodged there. I think Worthy's seemingly aware of it. Well, this round in the bank for Man Esports would mean match point. And Kelton's Knights really struggled attacking this bomb site last time, but they haven't yet lost a player.
I mean, oh gosh, I was going to say this is pretty dangerous for Worthy here. Not only has that one C4 connected onto him, but there's another 2 still in pocket that he's got to dodge now, trying to make the vertical work.
Here we go. Worthy is actually shot through the floor somehow.
Yeah, okay. And I've just seen the reinforcement of the triple wall now as well. So is the whole point just so that they can play like bot main and then just fall off at the end? I
think it's never intended to actually be open during the execute. It's just to try and play aggressively in the mid round.
That seems a bit, I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but that seems a bit overkill.
Don't knock it till you try it, Mandy. They've just picked Worthy 2 defenses of this bomb site in a row.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Anyway, I'll think about it more and then tell you my findings later. So Kitchen Hatch is open now, which wasn't open last time, I believe, by Kelton's Knights, so better progress now going into the basement. The other thing that they have on board now as well is Capital on Josh as well, so if they want to make the utility execute utility work going down through the hatch drop, they can.
What's this from play? He's getting very aggressive. He actually wants to take this position on a 90-degree angle, so he's got that really solid crossfire with Hunter onto blue. Vinny's going to have a big impact here from Dirt Tunnel. Kelton's Knights are getting desperate. It's been a long round so far, and as push comes to shove, Scars is the one to open the equation. Achieving absolutely nothing, Kelton's Knights are completely lost, shut out of the game. Man Esports, a flawless round to propel themselves onto match point. And Kelton's Knights, things are looking extremely grim.
Yeah, it's always going to be tough to make an execute work into the basement, but when you're a man down and when you've got such great crossfires being held by Man LFO as well as they tried to go in, unfortunately the fires and the Grims both not quite sinking where they need it to for the execute to happen. Yeah, Man LFO will come out on top.
This has been quite a sleeper second half, I'll be honest, Mandy. I had higher expectations for Kelton's Knights, and now there's egg on all of our faces. Every single member of talent
I don't know why we did
Kelton's
that.
Knights. I think it was maybe like a 50-50, but this second half has been anything but 50-50. 4 rounds straight from Man Esports, and these rounds haven't even been okay from Kelton's Knights. They've barely put up a fight on their attack.
Sorry, I sneezed there.
I know. You could have just not told the audience. They wouldn't have known.
You threw to me at the strangest point.
You could have
Anyway.
just left like a natural amount of pause and then kept talking.
See, that's what a professional would have done.
Yeah. No, not us.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that as well. I think, man, LFO winning out the 2 attacks was the 2 attacks that they needed to, essentially on their half. So, yeah, I think very much send themselves into a very successful defending half now. And Kelton Knights are getting a lot more stalled out, I think. We praised Man LFO a lot for their decision making on their attack, and I feel like it's hard to say the same thing about Knights.
Well, a last chance at redemption will need to be pushing 2 rounds in a row and then clocking into an overtime win. Of course, in this group stage, we run by the classic point system that you know and love at this point. 3 points for a win, 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for an overtime loss. So Kelton's Knights still have 2 points up for grabs. And keep in mind, these guys haven't even got a point on the standings so far. They lost yesterday, quite embarrassingly, 7-3 to Antic. On the flip side, Man Esports have not dropped a point so far. And if they can lock it in the next 2 rounds, they'll be 6-0 on the standings for their first 2 playdays.
Potential final round for the series between these 2 teams. Knights taking it pretty slow here on the attack, just getting some of these walls open. They've got the double hard breach on the board, worthy impact to collect themselves and at least try and put some pressure onto the bomb site. Jacuzzi open now. Justice is going to come along and collect that wall for himself, and now it's just decision-making time here for Kelton's Knights. Get some drones in, get some intel, and see if there's an opportunity to jump their way in onto the bomb site. This is going to be a pretty tough point of entry. The Banshee preventing the run-in from Jacuzzi. Not only that, but the mirror window on the other side to meet him as well.
Yeah, and Josh has used both of his Ash charges, which means they're not going to be used to drill a hole in that mirror window and disable the glass. Not a lot of ingredients here for Kelton's Knights to actually address this situation. I guess the Hibana could come around with the help of the Thatcher and try and open something on that bathroom wall, but it's far from ideal. Kelton's Knights are known to be that team of veterans that perhaps haven't been practicing as much, but they are so talented. And this stage, Mandy, you were the one who said that they've actually been taking it more seriously. They're scrimming, they're doing some dry runs, they're doing some more practice, and yet we're seeing worse results in their first 2 matches.
Perhaps overthinking it a little bit are Kelton's Knights, and it does look like they are posturing here for a Jacuzzi execute. Nevertheless, they've been sitting out here for a while, and because of that, time has been ticking away. EMP to go off is going to disable that Banshee for now and allow the wall to be open, but Hunter in off position is going to look to try and collect kill. Ouchies. He's going to impact himself, but with 30 seconds left to go, it's do or die now for Kelton's Knights.
And it's due for Hunter. He finds one and is traded on back. Kelton's Knights managed to even up the numbers. Bouncin has been taken down, but not out yet. Vinny got to land this pre-fire. He takes Chef down, but elsewhere, player has secured his kill and got the down needed. Josh and Vinny to try and do it against player. Bouncin Pat is sneaking around on the ground for info. Oh my God! What? What in God's name was that? Player! He is a goddamn player! That's the game!
Oh my goodness, what an abrupt finish to a round that certainly looked like it was Kelton's Knights' way. Man LFO has just thieved away a round from Kelton's Knights right in front of our eyes. They've gotten away with crime.
And you look at all the Kelton's Knights cameras, they've just all turned their cameras off. It's frozen.
God, they're out.
Oh my God. What the hell was that? Like, I haven't even sat down yet because bloody hell. That was a way to end a game. Player.
Yep.
Playing it up. Holy shit, like he actually just landed 2 impacts. Like, I thought we were playing Rainbow Six Siege, not Pokemon, for goodness sake.
That was fair enough. Oh my God, wow. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that finish. That really surprised us, but a pleasant surprise at that.
Yeah, well, I hope that the analysts are ready because we're going to you guys right now.
Yeah, the third best player in the region at the moment, technically speaking, pops off again. Player, what a quick little 3-piece that is. Granted, one player's already down, but that is just like the way that looked, guys, was a disgusting way to end.
Yeah, I mean, we were sort of sitting here contemplating about how this match might evolve into an overtime and for an opportunity for Kelton's Knights to get some points in this series, at least snag a point or 2. Unfortunately, again, they walk away with nothing off the back of a really nice clutch. And I kind of back up what Mandy was saying in that last round, that Carlton's Knights, despite perhaps dedicating more time and effort into the game, aren't seeing the results inside of the server to kick things off.
Is that a testament to the rest of the teams and players?
Not really.
You don't reckon?
No.
You don't reckon if you put more hours into the game, but
No.
get less back, that it's a testament to... What's it a testament to?
I'm actually not sure. Maybe raw
Oh,
skill, because
very
we saw last
interesting.
year that Carlton's Knights didn't put much time into the game, and they were better than what they are now. So I don't know anymore. But
It's
I
just
will
crazy.
say the pre-match discussion, from my perspective at least, was that for Man Esports, they need to be able to beat the likes of Carlton's Knights. They're going to be any kind of seriousness about this team progressing, and they did so. It was a little bit snoozy, I'm not going to lie. That ending was kind of like when your alarm goes off and you're already 10 minutes over and you're like jolted up. You're like, oh, what's happened? So obviously a significant clutch from player and very much a deserved win. I don't think this actually deserved to go to overtime, to be honest. I think Carlton's Knights looked pretty poor, and you could clearly see in terms of the mentality of the team. I mean, they disconnected so quickly and they were just ready to leave. So I was saying kind of during the match, that when it comes to Carlton's Knights, if others have now gone past them and they're not putting that much time or effort into it, they're going to find themselves continuing to drop down that leaderboard. No longer is it a case of just top 4, free money, we'll see you next stage. If you're finishing bottom 4, is it really even worth your time then? So honestly, they're going to make a decision. Either put more time in or accept the fact that you've got to be down at the bottom.
God damn! Sometimes you just
yeah.
you like to make a point. Well, let's hear from the man himself. We've got what's going on here? We got Chef Jeff.
So we've got the whiteboard.
Yeah,
Kelton Knight lose.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's a good question. How you doing, Chef? It's been a hot minute since we saw you last.
I'm doing all right. After that one, the voice went out the window. But,
Could imagine.
that was crazy.
Could imagine.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Take your
Go
time.
with the questions. I got to drink water. Drink water.
Well, I'll stretch this one out then. How is
Come on, mate.
the team doing after the roster changes?
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's lagging. The feed's lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell. Look, the team's going well. I think we've probably got, like, as a 5-man, probably like the second least amount of time together out of all the teams in Blast. I think the other one's Odium. So we're a very fresh team. We've had to put in a lot of effort, and I think what our like coaching and support staff have put together, I think we've played over 700 rounds of scrims together already in this last month and a bit. So we're working hard.
Yeah, I think we can clearly see that from yesterday, now today as well. Reward for effort for you guys and the roster. And when I kind of look at the team that's been put together, to me, it doesn't really scream maybe like a right now thing, but certainly what it could be in the future. Probably a little bit of old mammoth about that in some ways, but obviously a really good result against the Carlton's Knights team that have got a lot of experience. But evidently, Chef, it feels like maybe they're starting to fall away a little bit.
I don't know. I think the rest of OCE is definitely improving. They are scrimming. We've scrimmed them.
Well,
I think
that's
we've got a
not
scrim
good.
booked with them in the future. Yeah. Look, it begs the question if the scrimming is actually helping them improve, whether or not it's the right thing for them to do, whatever direction they're choosing for themselves. But they're still a very solid team. We still go into the game with the same level of respect that we take to any team, and we fight our hearts out to win.
Yep.
Well, next week, Chef, you're going to have to fight very, very hard. You have Team Bliss, of course, #1 in the region still. What's the mindset and the mentality going into that kind of game? Is it just throw at them what you have and see what the result is at the end?
Look, the Circular Spheres game for them looked like a bit of a cakewalk. So it's definitely an uphill battle. Again, with very low time working together. So it's a matter of, can we use what we have so far to get whatever we can out of that? It's going to be a learning experience. And at the end of the day, we're fighting to get to playoffs, and then from playoffs to get to Manchester. So we need to eventually play them and beat them if we want to make that. And we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's a very interesting mindset to go in. I think it's also the right mindset where you kind of treat the game as very much that kind of learning landscape. You know it's going to be a difficult prospect. Everyone knows that. It's Team Bliss. But what are you going to, I guess without maybe sharing anything you don't want to share, go into it with and try to take away from that match?
Look, as I said before, we've had very little time together, and as a result, we get close to the season, Bliss won't scrim us because we're that close to the season. So we don't have much scrim experience with them. So the reality of it, it's game day experience and it's practice against that really, really good team. And I think that's what we look at it. If we win, fantastic. That's really good. But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, the regular season won't matter if we go flawless and still lose in the semifinals or grand final. We still got to just game by game.
Yeah, that's fair. I think one thing we spoke about at the very start is obviously, the issues that you're talking about compounding across really a region of so many roster shuffles and so much instability. Are there plans for the future? Do you see this team long term into stage 2? Is the idea now to try to cement everything?
We had we have theory sessions every week, and where Sally and our analysts talk to us about what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, show us the stats of what's happening in scrims. And I think the biggest thing that I said to the team as a recapping remark, we have the foundations of a team that can win. We have the support mechanisms in the background. Hunter's an incredibly good IGL, and we just need time. So it's just a matter of, are we willing to put that time to work, and what happens at the end of it? And who knows?
Look, to be fair, it's looking pretty good to start the stage. 2 from 2 so far. Anything you want to say before we let you go, mate?
In Rect, I said that we weren't going anywhere, and then things fell apart. Manic, we're sorry.
You liar.
I'm sorry. We tried our best, but it didn't work out in the end. I think shout out to my team. They're working really hard. We're putting in a lot of time. Shout out to Blackout over in NA. He made our new logo. The first one in the first graphic was atrocious. That was made in MS Paint, and the current one's actually I like a lot. So shout out to that bloke. He's a legend. Shout out to the production team for supporting us to win this game. The rest of you are fake fans. Yeah.
Well, wait, hang on, Jeff. You missed one. You're looking for an org, mate.
Who else? Oh, that is true, eh? I'm sorry. I'm so enriched by the Man Esports brand that I've forgotten about that. But yeah, we are looking for an org. Shoot me a message if you want to have a chat. Yeah.
We love
Thanks,
that,
everyone.
Mate. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck next week. Hopefully, we get to chat to you about your triumph over Bliss.
Oh yeah, we're getting ambitious today.
We'll speak to you soon, mate. We love ambition.
Yeah, we do.
Ambition.
We do.
And that's what you have to be.
Hey, they're undefeated.
They are undefeated.
Ambitious
ambition in OCE is a very funny thing because we've seen a lot of players a lot of times before have deep ambitions to go very far, and unfortunately sometimes it hasn't worked out. Sometimes the stars do align, and on this occasion it looks like Man Esports LFO are getting off to the right start for their stage. We're going to go to a short break, and on the other side, Odium will take on Circular Spheres.
Attackers drop the diffuser. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb.